Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again is my normal cast of characters, Kenny Boucher, Mike Haspel, and Stephen Fora. What's up, guys?
Yo, Doug.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's up happening? What's happening?
Yo, I heard there's new Space Wolves.
Yo, come to find out, we've got Lycan.
Lycan. Oh, my goodness. I was thinking Benicio del Toro Wolfman's.
Ooh.
Yep.
Wait, was he the original Wolfman?
No, remake.
He's not
remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, how did I not remember that one?
I just love
which,
Benicio
by the
del
way,
Toro.
by the way, if you do watch the original Wolfman, the ending is so anticlimactic. I watched it the other day, and I was like, really? That's the ending? Okay, whatever.
Yo, oh my God, I just realized Kenny feels like the old school Wulfen are from Teen Wolf.
Oh, yeah. But those are cool. Those are
what they are.
Those are cool Wolfmans. Like, they look like those Mexican kids that have like that weird condition that work for the circus. We've all seen the special on PBS. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. They have like they're covered in hair.
Yeah,
super hair.
Yeah, that's basically what the Wulfen models used to look like.
Yep. We were talking about in the webcast tonight about Haspel loved that model and everything else, and Kenny's like, yo, literally, you love that model because you're a fanboy. That model is stupid.
Yep.
Now I just put the correlation together between Teen Wolf, Wulfen, and Kenny's hatred for old school Wulfen model.
Yo,
Yeah.
before we get too off track with all the Wulfen models and stuff like that, I think we should talk about the show a little bit. Obviously, it's going to be about Wulfen, right? So I think we have a great lineup, actually, because we got a lot to talk about that. Haspel ran a tournament out at the Haven, out of Gamers Haven out in Colorado, where he used to bring in a hobby back mission pack. Well, not the mission. Did you run the missions?
No, I ran ITC, like a variant of ITC missions.
But you did the comp and the sports?
Yeah, but the scoring was all bringing the hobby back.
So it was ITC would bring in, what is it, BRB? BHB. ITC, BHB. All right. Nice. Got it. So we got that. We got the new Wulfen, a whole bunch of new news. It looks like Games Workshop's bringing the hobby back, so we're going to hit that up in the Tabletop Market Watch. And, of course, we got another record webcast, I feel like, tonight. And we got a bunch of recaps for that as well. So I think we should take a quick break and jump right on into the Tabletop Market Watch.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
All right. So, like we said, Wulfen's happening. It was getting it was going to be a scratchy weekend. No new 40k news, and then all of a sudden the Wulfen hit.
Did you see that meme I posted on Instagram with Tyrone Biggins from the Chappelle Show?
I think I shared it on Spikey Bits Facebook.
God, when I saw that meme, and I was like, this is exactly how I feel about 40k crack.
Oh man, it was rough. Like you could see it. I mean, I love Age of Sigmar, but people just really don't respond well to Age of Sigmar.
It's like, do you
on the
really
web.
love Age of Sigmar though? It's like
I do.
At this point, it's the equivalent of saying I love Lamp.
Well,
Apples.
There's a lot to be said there. Me and Larry have been talking from Bell Lost Souls. The local store out there in Austin has came up with a really neat way that apparently has really seen a lot of entrenchment with the community there, getting people out playing Age of Sigmar in the store there. And he got the rules from him, posted it up on Bulls. I'm running an article tomorrow, talking about it too. That I think might be worth trying. Like, it's just a little 4-week league, but I don't want to digress. Check that out.
What is that article going live?
It's already up on Bulls. I'm running it tomorrow at like in the morning time ish.
So you guys, by the time you download this will also be available to you in your news feed. So check it out. SpikeyBits.com.
Yeah, and especially with the Age of Sigmar stuff, that War Scroll website that has the two different ways of making the pool and the SDK, that actually adds that comp element that Age of Sigmar, that I feel Age of Sigmar sorely needs.
Maybe you guys maybe you guys didn't take my statement the right way. Like, I love LAMP. I actually love LAMP.
No, we know.
I like LAMP, but I fucking hate Age of Sigmar.
Well, I don't want to get too off topic with that one, but anywho, so
it's on topic. We're talking about Tabletop Marketplace, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo,
so
I would like to put a caveat. I'm sorry, Robbie B. I'd like to put a caveat. I fucking love their models. Amazing models. Terrible idea about rules.
I think, I think it's safe to say that it's definitely a polarizing thing in the community and perhaps even in Games Workshop themselves as a company, from what I've heard. I feel like there's a lot there, but I don't want to get into all that.
Sure enough. Take us into what you want to get into.
Thank you. So Wulfen's hitting. We saw basically the leaks of the cover. Now we're seeing the actual rules themselves, and I feel like obviously we knew we were getting a new kit, right? And we know we're getting rules. They're going to be in the White Dwarf, so which means that they're probably going to be in a campaign book, which we also saw today as well. The picture for it, I think it's like Warzone Fenris. So the rumors are that they're going to be fighting demons, which would make sense, being how originally they were in the 13th Company, the Eye of Terror book. The whole like jumping through the warp to attack people, etc. You guys were talking about the rules on the webcast before I jumped on. I had to take a phone call about ordering some Kickstarter stuff. But that being said, the rules look pretty solid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, Robbie B, that's one thing we actually didn't get a chance to get to is we spend all our time talking about what would make the perfect Wulfen.
Seriously?
And then we spent time what it would be like that what happens to Lycan / Thundercav, or they're the Thundercav models, and this. We took a not so direct rule spin on it. So Robbie B, please, for everybody who listened to us and watched the webcast and who's listened to us now, let's talk about the rules.
I want to interject just real quick because I feel like now Rob is getting off topic because I thought we had a pretty interesting Tabletop Marketplace, and he's jumping the gun like he normally does, and he wants to go right into the meat and potatoes this episode first.
Half the time I just forget what you say, Kenny. I'm sorry. It's like, yo, what are we going to talk about today? Poops, fart, cats.
Classic. That's literally. I want to tell you. Me and Rob, we talked on the phone last night for like 2 hours while we were both hobbying, like just have each other on speakerphone. And I want to say that's basically what we talked about for 2 hours. Was poop, dick, cats.
No, there was some really cool stuff spotted today. Tabletop Market Watch wise, we saw what apparently is going to come out in November of 2016. Some like build and play, I guess it's called, build and snatch and scratch.
It's
scratch
called
and sniff.
Build and poop. It's build and paint kits that are coming out from Games Workshop. They were debuted at the Nuremberg Toy Fair,
which is actually one of the biggest toy fairs in the world. I looked it up. I was like, wow, I was like, what is this little like German carnival of a toy? I was like, this is a big deal. It's actually
the most legit toy carnival there is.
Yeah. And so what these things are is they're different kits, and they have them for the different factions. They're kits that come paired with the little like sample paints that you would need to paint. Yeah, and glue that you would need to assemble and paint this thing. And it's like some bikes, some speeders. I saw some orc stuff too. It looked really, really great. It looked like it was targeting like maybe younger people. It seems
like they're trying to go entry level into stores, in the model, toy stores, model stores, stuff like that, and they're priced almost at like the snap tight level kind of price point.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you.
What it reminded me of.
Let me ask you: is that going to be available in the U.S.? Is that going to be?
Yes.
So you can definitely look forward to seeing some next level painting tutorials, hopefully in the future, where I literally do one of those kits with everything they include. That way, we can all follow along at home.
Oh, and like, so if new people might be
Literally, you buy the same. If you bought this kit, you'll be able to follow along with me because we all know which paint we're using. We all know which glues we're using, which models we're using.
I just got this vision of you can read along with me in your book, and you will know it is time to turn the page when you hear R2D2 beep like this.
Yep. Kenny, I just need to know this right now. If while I'm watching your video, I open the starter kit the same time you do and start doing everything, my model is going to turn out just like you would.
Exactly, like literally
to the T.
I mean, identical. Like I can't even imagine there being any differences.
How would it not? How would it not?
I mean, it's just math.
Yeah, magic.
So these things are priced good. I mean, it's $15. You get a Space Marine bike, or what is that? The Orc, the War Track thing. I forget.
You know, the one thing I will say about this, my opinion on it is silent golf clap to UGW. A lot of things that you do are obviously just about money. Obviously you're making money on this, but I obviously think that this is something that you're doing for the hobbyists, for the younger crowd, for people that are getting in. Like, this isn't just I'm going to repackage a model at a higher point cost just to get more money out of you people. Like, silent golf clap to you.
What I like about it, it's definitely bringing hobby back. It's aimed at entry level, getting more people into it. The sprues are basically manufactured a certain color. Like, you get this blue bike, which is ultramarines. You get green stuff that's green sprues, which
like
are
the old Ninja Turtle toys back in the day.
Yo, like the old school Gene Stealers that were purple.
Oh shit! This
is fresh. I didn't even know that they did this. This is mind blowing right now.
So you mean the Ultramarine bike comes blue and I just have to paint as trim gold and I'm done?
Theoretically.
You could, yeah.
I guarantee, Juice, that your model will look just like mine when we're done.
Fuck yes. So what you're telling me is I'm going to have an Ultramarine bike army, and so I'm putting out a call to every veteran out there. If you buy this and think it's stupid, please sell me your blue bike so I don't have to paint them.
Yep.
Done. All you got to do is base it. Yeah, no, it's a great deal. Glue, brush, paints, and decals included in every box. It's crazy. Such a good deal. And then there's like even a mini Battle Force for $39.
That comes with all these supplies?
Yeah, it's what does it say? Space Marine Heavy Assault Team and Orc Ardboys Mob will also include plastic ammo, crate scenery, 8 paints, 2 brushes, glue, decal sheet, and assembly guide.
Baller.
Yeah, so all you really need
for
are
$39.
That's all you need. Aside from the box, you need sprue cutters. That's it.
Yep, but I mean, everybody's got nail clippers at home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm pretty stoked about this. If they now, nobody knows, like, is this going into Walmarts? Is this going into Targets? I think it's too soon to jump the gun. But when they're marketing and showing this stuff off at a industry, this is a manufacturer toy show. This isn't like the public goes to this toy show. This is, chains in Europe.
This is definitely stores. Them, trying to hit that scene. That's what it seems like.
Oh, yes. Wow. I didn't even think about that until you said it. Like, this could be their intro into a Walmart?
Theoretically, it could be. But more along the lines of, like, hobby towns or...
Toys R Us, places that sell models.
Yeah. And it's not unprecedented, really, because if you've ever been to FAO Schwartz in New York, they got G-Dub models in there. Like, they're there, so...
I don't even know what that means. What was that?
He said Schwartz.
Schwartz.
The ring.
The Schwartz. Yeah,
it's kind of like the Force.
It's the big toy store. It's the one from, what's that Tom Hanks movie?
Nobody knows.
Big,
Tom Hanks was never in a movie. He's not even an actor.
Yeah, they have $1 million Lego sets, Kenny. That's what they have.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see any of those.
Well, anyway, so Toy Fair aside, what else did you guys have? I heard there was some Steam shit happening this weekend.
Yeah, so by the time you guys get this podcast, there'll only be maybe a day or two left. But going through the 29th, GW is having the midweek madness on Steam. So they got games going from, 10% off for the new, you could pre-order the new Battlefleet Gothic, all the way to games that are like 75% off. And there's a couple on there that I feel that like people should just get because they're just awesome. So like Chainsaw Warrior, you guys have heard me talk about it before. It's kind of a little blend of precursor of 40K and the world of 2000 AD with like Judge Dredd, but it's a rip off of both. And it is $1.24. It's like a little single player card and dice game. It's well implemented on here. The other one I would recommend, if you like chess, if you're a fan of like chess problems and stuff, Regicide is currently like $9.99. Okay. They have another game on there called, if you guys remember the old game Contra, you know, the whole up, down, left, right, left, right.
Selects, yes. I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar with that game. Yeah, literally so impossible to beat without the cheat code. Without
the cheats, but there is a kind of a 40K version of that called Kill Team. And that is currently $2.49. I mean, these are games that if you played it for 5 minutes, you got your money's worth.
Yeah, Kill Team is hilarious.
It's a lot of fun, but it's essentially like Contra. You run around and just shoot up an orc cruiser. Then they have some interesting ones on there, like Legacy of Dorn. It's called Herald of Oblivion. And I had a couple of years back, Black Library experimented with some game books. They had two of them. They had one called Hive of the Dead, where you were a guardsman in a hive city that was being taken over by Nurgle zombies. And then they had this Legacy of Dorn, Herald of Oblivion, where you were an Imperial Fist Terminator on a Space Hulk. And these were kind of like choose your own adventure books, but you had a character sheet and you had dice and you actually rolled to hit, rolled to wounds, and played through the book. So it's like a single player RPG. They actually have a version of that on Steam right now. I guess there are mobile versions for iOS and Android as well. It's $4.99 for this like choose your own adventure type book. So it is definitely not a traditional kind of game, but it is well implemented. I found myself playing it for like 45 minutes today.
Mike Haskell, let me ask you something. Do you have a copy of the original Choose Your Own Adventure, like physical analog game?
Oh yeah. I have a bunch of those books still.
What I'm going to require from you is a video tutorial of you single player playing through that game.
Through what? Herald of Oblivion? I could do that. Yeah.
I need to see this happen. Like no takesy backsies. I want to just have a camera on you the whole time. I just want to see this happen.
It is. I will say it is brutal.
Like you have to like read it out dramatically.
Like Hive of the Dead. I did not make it through at all.
Editor's edition, like.
Yes, thank you for joining me today. Mike Cass will be reading.
I didn't see you there. You know,
okay, classic. I will do that for you.
So good. But then I need you to take a break halfway through and then come back and do it in a Mr. Rogers theme.
Oh my gosh.
So come in super happy.
That's gonna be hard. Okay.
This is gonna be
so essentially, if you've got Steam, if you've got a PC, all this stuff's on sale. One of the things I do want to recommend is Dawn of War. If you haven't played Dawn of War, it's basically StarCraft 40K.
So good.
Get it. Like, just get it. But if you have gotten it and maybe had Dawn of War, Soulstorm in the past and haven't played it in a long time, my buddies and I discovered a mod for it called Ultimate Apocalypse, and it's been around for a while. It adds Titans. It adds all kinds of craziness, and it jacks up the AI. So while this is on sale, pick up Dawn of War, pick up Dawn of War Soulstorm, grab yourself that Ultimate Apocalypse mod, and guarantee you will not look back. It's fantastic.
# cheat code glittering prizes.
There's also something else on Steam too that just went on sale. Today or yesterday? It might have been yesterday.
What's that?
The Battlefleet Gothic.
Oh yes, yeah, Battlefleet Gothic. Yeah,
I guess it's like pre-order.
It's a pre-order for that.
Yeah, so if you pre-order it now, you get the Space Marine Fleet DLC, which I guess is gonna be 3 fleets, and then you have to buy the Space Marines extra or something. You emailed them, right?
I talked to him actually on Facebook, and I said, is this day one DLC kind of thing, which a lot of companies do now, and it's kind of cheap, and they said no, that it was not, that anybody who buys the game, like if you pre-order it, you get it, but that deal will apparently extend to 2 months after the game goes live. So after the game actually goes out without pre-order,
you'll have an opportunity to retroactively pick up that stuff.
To pick up that DLC at no extra cost, you'll get it if you buy the game within the first 2 months.
Tights.
And it looks really sweet. It does have a single player campaign, only from the Imperial point of view. The other fleets, which I think are
the only point of view that matters to Mike Haspel.
That's right. Chaos and Orcs. And there's one other fleet, and I can't remember it right now. But Chaos and Orcs will be available through multiplayer.
I thought a mechanic that was really neat that I saw in some of the gameplay videos was that you could do like a short teleport, like short warp jump with your ship.
Yeah. They show in one of the cutscenes, they show a guy like dodging, like he has a whole ton of torpedoes coming at his ship, and he does a warp jump and gets out of the way of it. And
shit.
Yeah, it looked pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting to see. So, yeah, that'll be neat. That's definitely something to look out for. Scoop it up now. I don't think that is on sale. Oh no, wait,
it's like 10%,
it is. It's 10% off.
Yeah.
Yep.
One other thing for the Tabletop Marketplace, also shown off at that Nuremberg Toy Fair, new Blood Bowl miniatures. So they look really good, actually, like really.
Is there any Gene Stealer Colt Blood Bowl models?
No, I think they only showed like maybe. I think it was only 4
models so far, but it's still going on tomorrow, so we'll keep our eyes peeled. It says coming in 2017, so not sure if that's going to be the first specialist offering. It'd be cool to see some stuff in between, of course, from specialists, but that's theoretically it's only like 11 months away, almost 10.
1 billion minutes.
It's like Rick and Morty season 3 far away.
That is true.
I finally just watched season 2 based on Haspel's recommendation. I went online. I just said, "Fuck it, I need to buy this." Yo, I just want to say one thing. I'm gonna get Swifty.
That's right. That's right.
How did you get it? Like what media? Like because you get the
Xbox Marketplace.
Oh, so you just downloaded the season?
Yeah, that's what I did too. I just bought it on the Xbox.
Like if you have an Xbox, man, literally just get Hulu, you have your Amazon videos popping off, get your Netflix, and then use the other free programs. And then if there's something you need to have, just buy it. And when I look at my yearly expenses on there, like it's literally like less than half what people spend on Dish and stuff like that. Even with buying Walking Dead every year and buying stuff like that.
Because I had heard that
we're gamers. You have to game everything.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are canceling their cable and everything. But I had heard there's these things called like apps or whatever. Like, for instance, supposedly I was told that NBC has an app on there. And like if you want to watch the last 5 episodes of Blacklist or something like.
That is correct. They have some different apps and stuff like that you can watch.
That's cool.
Like the last couple of shows.
Yo, Showtime's got their piggyback app now. They finally partnered with Hulu, and they're like, $8 more you get Showtime. I was like, HBO, you're fucking up.
Like, where you at, HBO?
HBO they finally made their HBO Go be like a real subscribable account. And guess what? It's not. It's not $8 more on top of you. Like they made it like people who partner with each other. Like that's what you do.
That's the way. I mean, that's literally the way to do things. I mean, it's what we do with the Long War with stuff, and FedEx office and all that.
I'm glad to see that like our business model where we partner with other great YouTubers is such a legit business model that like Showtime and Hulu do it.
Yeah, basically you heard it here first from Robbie B's mouth. Here at the Long War, we don't suck.
Yep. Basically just cancel your Hulu and just get us.
Yeah. Somebody said they were watching the webcast on the Roku.
Yeah. The Roku is like it's like a streaming box kind of thing that does Netflix and stuff like that, but it will do YouTube. And so he was watching our webcast on his big screen TV.
Yeah, good old jamming.
I have one of those. It's called the Xbox One.
Yeah, I think it's like what you get if you don't have an Xbox or like the iTV or whatever. Apple TV.
I was gifted. My family gave me the Google TV for Christmas, and I am in love.
Oh man, I need to get one of those. I'm super butthurt. But anyway, I think that was pretty solid. I think we can move into our award-winning series called Webcast Recap by Caspel.
All right. We've got a couple of things here. We had a really good webcast tonight. We could not even it felt like we didn't even scratch the surface of all, and we're still leaving some stuff unanswered because we're gonna have like kind of a long podcast tonight. But we'll kick things off with Ironhead, who was asking, what is the best means to share gallery photos of miniatures to the Long War crew? The hobby needs a boost out here in New Mexico.
I guess that's a kind of a two-part thing. If you're talking about you just want me, Rob, and Juice and Haspel to see your pictures, just use the Long War official email, which is 40klongwar@gmail.com. If you want other people to see these things, obviously, I recommend the Spikey Bits hobby group.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a bunch of folks on there. Maybe we could look at doing some. We had a little section on the forum, but forums are kind of, people don't want to hear it. Us old folks, we're used to it. But
we have an official forum for Spikey Bits forum. We have a special section on there, which we will get into here in another webcast recap question, which will kind of double down on this. But nobody posts on it, even though we have a thriving community of members, of veterans and supporters. It's just with the way Facebook works and the way Google Hangouts work, that's all kind of going away. So, Facebook groups are pretty solid. Spikey Bits hobby groups, a really good Facebook page. We might even look into enabling some of those features in the Long War Facebook page in the future. I guess to answer Ironhead's question.
Yeah, because that ties into Lau Stevenson had a question about would we be considering having a forum page where people could talk army lists and so on with like-minded people, kind of like Bolter and Chainsword for veterans of the Long War. So that kind of answered that. We kind of answered that prematurely.
We have one. It's not, like I said, it's just nobody cares because forums are they're not what they use. It's kind of like forums are dying and blogs are changing what they are. Meanwhile, Facebook is becoming the internet. So Facebook group is where it's at. We might even start a Long War group. I don't know. Right now we have like I said, I can't say enough time. We have a really good group right now. Spikey Bits hobby group. I am on there all the time. Everyone's on there. It's probably my favorite Facebook group that I'm a part of right now.
Yeah, we try to keep it, positive. That's one of the rules. Keep it positive, and
you will straight get banned if you're a hater.
Or a warning or two.
Later.
Well, you'll get a warning, and then if your response to said warning is go fuck yourself, don't be surprised when you get banned.
Let's just say I've banned whole IP blocks in cities too because people kept moving around trying to act smart. So.
Rob, I just need to know your commitment to happiness is so strong that you blocked an entire city.
Yes.
Yo, I like it. Robbie B, you are the man. That's why you are the man.
Yeah. Rob Zula, the web ruler.
Yeah.
But
sorry to everybody in that city who was not a troll, but that's collateral damage.
It was a small town. I checked it out. I was like, collateral damage. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But sometimes drastic measures must be taken.
Yo, decisions have to be made. Choices just have to be done. People have to be sacrificed.
I mean, it's no, I talk to folks that are mods and basically editors and things on other bigger Facebook pages, for like actual, brands, and they literally have people that sit there and. If they don't like what you say on their Facebook page, they literally ban you. And
I love it too. Like I've gotten into discussions with people in the past about that. This is like my lady, especially. She's like, I hate Facebook. Like they don't have the right to tell you what you can and can't say. It's like they do. She's like, this is America. We have freedom of speech. It's like, yeah, but also in our list of rights, it does say you have to follow somebody else's rules when you're in their house.
Yep.
If you come, if I open the door of my house and I say these are the things you're not allowed to say in my house, you can either leave or not say those things. And people forgot that's what Facebook is. It's a house, and Facebook is becoming the internet. So like now, where a lot of places on the internet you don't have rules, Facebook does, and now you find yourself more and more being a part of their program. By first thing you do when you wake up is start scrolling through your phone and looking at Facebook for your news and your laughs. So that's just what it's become. So you got to play nice.
Yep, we sure do.
You kids and your Facebooks. I dial up into my old BBS, and that's where I get the news from.
Yo, Mike Haspel and I have been AOL messaging back and forth all day.
Yo, you got that ICQ?
That's right.
ICQ.
Oh, my God.
I used to ICQ playing Team Fortress back in the day.
So Alfie B the Fourth, who apparently there exists an Alfie B the Fifth. He quickly mentioned that.
Oh.
But He says he had just finished applying the Astro Granite texture paint to Deathwing bases per Kenny's basing tutorial, and it was looking great. So that's not really a question, but it was just kind of a cool thing to throw out there.
I guess a reminder that we do at the longword.net do hit it hot with a fresh new hobby tutorial every week, which will typically involve airbrushing, but sometimes it is basing. And that was one of my basing videos, and I got some more coming here soon. I got some new fresh stuff on the horizon. If you are not a member of the Hall of Veterans, then you are seeing everything 2 weeks late. So don't forget that.
Yo, first of all, let me just drop some real knowledge here about that. Like, sure, yeah, we talk about it here and there, and on our YouTubes and things like that. If you do the math on it, it's 20 freaking cents a day. Like, I feel like the four of us were worth that.
Yeah, let me also break down that mathematical split of 20 cents a day. Going to credit card and PayPal fees, and then what's left over, a 4-way split. So I just want you to realize, like, it's the classic line of, we always say, is like, we don't do it for money. I promise you that, because there's no money.
Literally no money. Yes.
But it does take money to keep doing this. So like, at this point, it's like every bit of that 22 cents goes to maintaining the existence of these videos and these server spaces and all of our Facebook groups and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's rewarding. It's all about bringing the hobby back. Like a lot of people, you might be seeing the hobby coming back in your area and stuff like that. It seems like it's growing. I hope we had something to do with it, even if it was a very small percentage. But
yo, Robbie B, what a true statement, man. Like, I honestly truly feel that there's like a buzz going around about 40K. Like, we have multiple events with waiting lists in different states. Haspel was saying about his event was sold out with a waiting list. We had 2 events that had to get postponed and or canceled this past weekend in Raleigh and in Virginia that literally were maxed out at 30-plus players with a waiting list.
Yeah, we went Toys for Tot events. We had to open up new tables.
Open up because more people showed up, and these are all getting sold out at 30-plus events. Like, for anybody who wants to troll out and say the game isn't where it is and it's not the good old times, like, hey, if you guys, all you got to do is go back and listen to a couple episodes. We talk about the good old days and we talk about this and this, but, we'll be damned if we're not having a blast right now in 7th edition. Yeah, well, and we do, Rob is right. We do a small percentage by providing this medium that we provide to share the hobby with everyone. It's really all you guys, all the veterans, all the supporters, all the people who follow us on YouTube. It's what you guys are taking from the videos and bringing it back to your communities. All we're doing is sharing our love, our experience, and like what we see happening. You guys are the ones who are making it happen, and that's really why we do it. We don't do it for the 22 cents a day. I promise. We do it because we love this hobby, and it is important to be involved in something you're passionate about. Yeah, yep. I just want to jump back to the texture paint thing real quick. I was a huge skeptic of those, and then I bought a bunch of minis off eBay for cheap, and the guy had like hardcore. He hadn't painted them, but he had hardcore glued them to their bases. Like, there was no way I was going to have to cut them off. You weren't breaking them off to make them on resin bases. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't going to happen. So I picked up these texture paints, and I was like, man, this is just so stupid that GW even did this. I was a big skeptic. And then I followed, their instructions on here's how you do it, lay it down, let it dry brush it and everything. I could not believe the results I got. And then I threw in like a couple of tufts of grass on there, and it looked amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. So, the textured paints, they definitely have their place in your basing kit. That's true. No, and I'll be doing another product review here soon because a lot of people reached out to me after that tutorial, and were saying Vallejo's got a line of very similar products, and Vallejo always seems to be a little bit better than everybody else and better priced. So I just ordered in some of their products, and I'm about to do a follow-up video. Vallejo has this stuff, and I know I'm going to get it's like pumice. It's like pumice mixed with resin. Yes, and I've used that in the past. But that is the sickest stuff. Apparently they have a colored series just like GW though. Yeah. They do. Yeah, they have a legitimate like Dark Earth, Astaroth. Like they have all that stuff. So I've ordered some. I'm gonna do a follow-up video, product review, and I'm gonna give you guys all my opinion on which is better.
and obviously cost to quantity is going to be a factor.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
But let's close out the webcast recap. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I got one more question from Justin Cox. He's got a question on list building, and he says in his local meta, the Void Shield generator is becoming really popular. Like auto include, take 100 points off the top of your list to get this in popular. Do you guys think that this is necessary?
I mean, I have listened. Right now, my Astra Militarum list is literally this is what I look at. Is the tournament that I'm going to play at, does it allow Void Shield generators? If it does, I automatically include. And this is why. Dog, we're playing Void Shield generators in my style list. I'm playing vehicles. Yo, as much as we talk about it, if you haven't heard us preach enough, like a armor value is not the same as a toughness. So like in my style of build, it's like it's a must. I have to have it. I don't want to get alpha struck. I don't want to get sixed out. I need all those buffers that I can. And to be honest, for 100 points, it's as cheap as it comes.
Yeah, and I say additionally too, we're talking about competitive tournaments. Like Tau exists, Eldar exists. These guys have like Eldar will hit you with 80 strength 6 shots on turn 1. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to mitigate that. Like Tau will hit you with less shots, but a lot of them will be strength 7 and they'll all hit. You know what I mean? Like that's so. I mean, you have to, and if you're talking competitive scenarios where like that might happen, and like if you don't go first, you're gonna lose half your army. Like yo, man, like I can't fault anybody for taking that.
Yeah, because also like let's just talk about what it does. It not only so like all that small arms fire, right? They with all the scat packs that are out there, the boogeyman, with a million strength 6 shots. So first off, now before it can do anything to your army, it's got to roll a bunch of 6s, right? So normally that's what the Eldar player wants. It wants to whittle down, it wants to do this and this, so it can save its D shot, so it can save things like that depending on whatever else it does. Now what it does is it forces the hand of the Eldar player to use its big weapons first. If not, the rest of his army can't shoot. So technically it's not only just like I'm going to deny my opponent 3 wounds or 3 until it does the 3 hull points. It's tipping the cards in your favor of forcing your opponent to use certain weapons in the target priority. Some people talk about how easy it is for target priority. Oh, well, all you got to do is this and this. When you throw a wrench in that plan, that's when, advantage goes your way.
That's the true statement.
But don't forget too, you don't necessarily have to take the big Void Shield generator itself. You can buy Void Shields for some of the fortifications too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things in the Stronghold Assault book that are oftentimes overlooked, and a lot of them are really expensive. But I would still have to say, regardless of all the other options in that book, none of them are giving you 3 Void Shields for 100 points. No doubt. But we're about halfway through, guys. Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsors.
Veterans, have you been by thelongwar.net lately? New spoils are piling up. Sign up at thelongwar.net and claim your code to unlock valuable discounts at your favorite wargaming stores. Our friends at kingshobbiesandgames.com have added to that horde. An additional 5% off their already low prices. Sign up for free. thelongwar.net. Dear veterans, quickly! Make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
And we're back. I guess we're moving on to a new a fresh new segment.
Talk about poop.
We're talking about poop as usual. That's not fresh and new, but what we're talking about here is yet again, Haspel's got another discussion to lead us in, and the subject of which is tournament responsibility, and I'll turn it over to you, Haspel.
Yeah, so I ran a hybrid ITC Bringing the Hobby Back tournament this last weekend, and it was very successful and a lot of fun and everything. But some things came up that made me ask some questions. We had a couple of games where some local players who were not familiar with the ITC were using just the standard 40k rules that they're used to playing week after week after week. So they were not familiar with the ITC, and they were playing the game that way. And it came down to, as a tournament organizer, I kind of felt that that's my role, is I'm organizing the tournament. I'm setting up, I'm setting up an opportunity for you to play multiple different games against opponents, and I'm going to regulate how you play those games. But I'm not a referee. I'm not an official. So I'm not watching your game every second of the, to throw a flag on the play or something like that, to use a sports ball metaphor. But so it was just kind of an interesting idea that the expectation seemed to be that the tournament organizer should know all the rules. But I feel that the real responsibility for knowing the rules are actually the two players. It's you and your opponent.
Yeah, Haskell, I don't mean to interrupt you. I apologize, but literally, it is so stupid for somebody to even try to say that. It's like, yes, it is up to you to know to know the rules, but you can't be at every table at every given second to intervene in whether or not somebody's doing the rules correctly or not. That is.
Yeah, a referee is literally watching every second of the game. That's not. So, it's even ridiculous to call Aspel over and try to explain to him and unwind, the scenario, and he has to hear both of your opinions, and he has to make a ruling based on your opinion. That's already sketch enough. But to go back and after an entire game was played, pretty much, if the scorecards are turned in, that's essentially what happened with all the mistakes included, I would say, and I would always treat that as a learning experience, to never make that, because I need the sting of my failure to be always in my mind, so I never make that mistake again,
Exactly. It's like, oh, I forgot my psychic phase that turn. Well, I'm not, you know what I mean? It's like, well, that's on me. You know what I mean? I won't forget that again, because that now just made this painful.
Yeah, quick Q&A, and as we know to that point, it's we all know that there's a psychic phase. We all know that there's a movement phase. It's not like there's a hidden phase that only a few people know about. Did you post what the missions and what the what rules and
so all that was posted. The missions were not posted in advance, but I told people we were using variants of the ITC missions, and I had links to the ITC FAQ. Now what happened in several games, it wasn't just in one, but what happened in several games was what I feel, obviously I wasn't standing right there, but what I feel happened is that when somebody went, hey, I'm doing this, their opponent went, yeah, that's the way it works, because that's the 40K rule. And then after the fact, they were like, oh, wait a minute, the ITC rules are different, and that would have changed the outcome of the game. But I'm like, it's kind of too late now. You both played the same rule set. It wasn't like there was a disagreement. It wasn't like somebody said, I'm going to do this because this is what 40K allows me to do. And then the other guy said, no, you're not allowed to do that. They both went, yeah, that's the way it works.
Played an entire 6 turns.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this is something I used to always say. It almost doesn't matter what rules you use in the table as long as you're both using the same rules. I have been in many games of 40K at a tournament where me and my opponent just said, you know what? That's silly that it works this way. Let's just do it this way. And we both agreed to it. And we played it that way. And we had a great time. And we figured out who won and who lost, and we filled out the scorecard correctly. You know what I mean?
Kenny, true or false? Or I need to know how many times you did this. Looked at your opponent, 6th edition, mysterious objectives.
We're not playing that. Yep. Almost. It'd be easy to tell you the times I actually did play mysterious objectives.
The fucking worst edition to keep up with bookkeeping. Literally the worst. Let's give us another chart to roll on for mysterious objectives.
It seems like a lot of people just forgot about those just because it was just one more thing to remember.
Well, we have no excuse. It's been years now, and we still refuse to use them, or forget to use them.
Yeah, it's like the turn 5 night fight. No one ever remembers it.
I used to have that little GW plastic turn counter that had a little moon on it for which turn it would be night fight on. I painted it up, and I used it for 3 tournaments, and for those 3 tournaments, I never forgot. But then I lost it, and I continue now to forget every game.
Yeah, so it's just kind of weird. The other thing that came up in the game, and this is more significant for our team tourney coming up in Adepticon, was the Comp Scorecard. Now, there were armies, we have a comp system on the scorecard, and the highest score you can get is an 8. The lowest score you can get is a 0. Essentially, the 8 goes to like super fluffy list, everything makes sense. Nothing's taken that doesn't kind of go with the fluff behind the army. A 0 would be, somebody just took 5 Wraith Knights or something absurd, just to win. And I wanted to put a differentiation there because when we had our tournament, I kind of set the bar and said, hey, like, just from looking around here, nobody really deserves an 8 from what I can see. But there was still kind of a love fest. Like, people were very reluctant to mark their opponents down. And that's okay. If you're cool with a guy playing 5 Wraith Knights and you think it's fluffy because, well, Ian didn't use a lot of Wraith Knights, then that's your opinion, and you're the one filling out the scorecard, so that's cool. But I wanted to emphasize that just because you mark somebody a 0 for comp, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean it's different than sportsmanship. You can be like, yo, Kenny, that is a cheeseball list. I love you, dog, but I'm giving you a 0 for comp.
Yeah, I can easily get a 0 on comp and be your best sportsman pick of the weekend.
Exactly. So I just wanted to reiterate that.
It's important to have playtesting. We're also going to have a primer. Our buddy Horton, friend of the show, greatest Khorne Demonkin player in the world, he's going to be running a primer here in Durham at Atomic Empire. The same format. They've already got something like 10 teams signed up. And they're going to be running our scorecard identical, and it'll be good to get some more intel from that scene, because these are important things to know for when we go to Adepticon, how we want to communicate these ideas to the players and the supporters of this event, because we don't want to make this amazing comp system not used the way we envisioned it, because that could easily happen. So I'm so glad that Haspel ran this event and got that intel out the gate.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that, but like that's the epitome of like what we're trying to do is like to bring lists to let people play what it is in their heart and that they love to play, instead of what has to be that competitive edge. And once you can kind of break that 5th wall or that 4th wall or whatever the case is, the
third
to
dimension.
Realize. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
I was just adding in my. You said 5th wall. I was like the 3rd dimension.
Yes.
Yep.
5D.
Yes.
But like once you realize that it is perfectly acceptable that if somebody didn't bring the same kind of funness list to the table as you, it is perfectly acceptable to let them know that on the scorecard underneath the appropriate line.
Yep,
it's true.
I'm super stoked. We're running the same rules this weekend at the Hobbytown tournament that I'm running here in Fayetteville. And somebody brought it up to me. They're like, "Hey, can I bring Supremacy Army?" And I'm like, "Yes, as long as you can fit the Battleforge Lord of War in there." I was like, "You will probably not win the tournament." I was like, "Because you're gonna table somebody, and you're gonna get 0s for like everything." And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, you might win 3 games, but you won't win the 4th, which is sportsmanship and comp." And they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and that'll be something that we have to do a quick little football huddle and be like, "All right, guys, this is the difference between sportsmanship and comp." So definitely, that's gonna be really important.
Yeah, I'll have to explain that because I've kind of got everybody trained already there. Like we've run the sportsmanship thing a couple times already. So the rating your opponent at the end of the tournament, you rate your favorite opponent, your middle opponent, and your least favorite opponent. And there's only 1 0, there's only 1 middle score, there's only 1 high score. That way you don't just get like an 18-way tie for sportsmanship. Mm-hmm.
No, but it's pretty important. And the thing is, like, not everyone listens to the podcast, so they're not informed. So we're gonna have to make sure everyone is informed.
Yeah.
I do want to advance the dialogue a little bit, just so we can fit everything in this evening. We have a final segment of that topic that you guys were just talking about. We named it Condemn or Commend and Condemn. And so I think Haspel has somebody in mind he wants to commend.
Yeah. So in turn with what happened, essentially one of the guys who was in contention for best overall, he actually won the whole thing, but he won using regular 40k rules. After the fact, it came to light that what he was doing with his army was not allowed under ITC. It wasn't that his list was bad. It was that he was playing like invisibility differently than the ITC and some other stuff like that. And this guy did a very adult thing, I feel, and he's a credit to the hobby. His name is Alfredo Tony Martinez. And he forfeited the last game, took himself out of best overall because he was like, no, it's on me. I should have known these rules for the ITC for my army. I didn't. My bad, And I'm just like, that is something that's what we want to see is that he's there for the love of the game, not necessarily just to win. And he's a credit to the hobby, in my opinion. And it's like, hey, any tournament I run, if he wants in, he's in. So
on the flip side, I would like to condemn something, and I'm going to put this into Adepticon terms. If you and your team come to Adepticon thinking that you will just bring the cheesiest list that you can come up with just to win prize support. That's what your goal is. You now can be considered a troll. You're a troll. And furthermore, if the only joy that you get in 40K is a win, that's the only way that you can find joy in it, the only thing that is guaranteed is you'll find unhappiness. It's an ancient Chinese proverb. Mr. Butcher said that.
Yep, ancient Chinese next level painting proverb.
Because how many people do we have signed up right now for our team event?
I haven't checked, but last time I checked,
nuts, right?
But last time I checked, there should be over 100 people playing.
Right. So what are the odds that you're going to win? It's not good. You know what I mean?
Baseline, if you all bring the same army and all roll the same dice, 1 in 100. So you have a 1% chance of winning, right?
Yeah. So it's not good odds.
Something like that. Like, so yes, but we have been grooming our public to understand this. And that's why I think it's important on the local scene. If you try to bring a hobby back with this technique, with this rules packet that we provided, it is important to have that dialogue, that communication with your people, because they might not be aware of this podcast. They might not have spent the hours talking about it that you have. So that's really important. So I'm glad that we got to introduce our new segment. And I'm so glad that Haspel ran this event. We got that sick intel, and I'm super proud to hear about your boy, Tony Martinez, as the first person we commended our new segment. But let's move right into the meat and potatoes, and let's finish this thing out hard, where Rob Bear is going to lead us in a discussion about the new Wulfen.
Oh, yeah.
So, y'all got any of them 40K releases?
Scratchy. I got that crack.
Yeah.
Hot sauce.
It's
good
like,
old Tyrone.
I heard you like wolves with your wolves.
Yo,
you might not know about this about me, Joe Rogan, but I smoke rock. Oh my God, the funniest Dave Chappelle sketch I've ever seen.
Literally the funniest.
He had some funny ones. But yeah, the wolves are coming. We got the rules for what is it? The Wulfen models, and they look pretty interesting. They're what, 30 points each, I believe it was. Pulling the rules up right now.
Yeah, 30 points per model. 150 points gets you 5 Wulfen.
And you can buy 5 more.
They are strength 5, toughness 4, 2 wounds, initiative 5.
Ooh, they're 2 wounds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the real thing is their special
rending?
rules. They got Berserker, No New Fear, Curse of the Wulfen, Counterattack, Sharp Senses, Feel No Pain, Bulky. So it goes along with that whole 2 wound thing, and something called Death Frenzy.
I just love the name of that rule, Death Frenzy.
Before we go into more, what armor save do they have?
4 up.
Oh, a 4 up. Do they have an invulnerable save?
Negative.
They have a feel no pain save though.
They have feel no pain, and they can take a storm shield.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna.
What?
I'm about to say my whole unit has storm shields. PS.
So Kenny, a model that has a 5 up toughness, or you said a toughness 5, right?
No, that's T4.
Okay. T4 strength 5.
Okay, to strength 5. I'm sorry. So a toughness 4 model with 2 wounds with a 4 up save, is that basically the equivalent of having a 3 up armor save?
If you have 2 wounds and if you have 2 wounds and a 4 up save, I mean you're pretty much on par. But if you followed up with a 5 up feel no pain, you're way better than a 3 up armor save.
Yeah. Okay.
I definitely think so.
I'm trying to put some actual math.
I'll tell you what. Let me ask you this: is a unit of flesh hounds hard to kill?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean literally they only have a 5 up save, dog.
Yeah, no Feel No Pain. Think about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, these are good.
So
and the fact that they can take a 3-up invulnerable is pretty crazy. So walk us through the 3-up rules.
The 3-up invul comes with a
Thunderhammer for 20 points.
Whoa, the whole combo is 20 points?
Yeah.
That's a strength 10 Thunderhammer. I'm just going to throw that out there for everybody who wants to argue that. Because it's strength 5 base. So that's a strength 10 Thunderhammer.
Show of hands. How many people agree with that ruling?
Yeah, seriously.
I wish I had an extra set of hands.
So what you're saying is that this unit is, so they're 30 points each.
Yes.
They, for 20 additional points, they can they can have a 3-up invulnerable and a Thunderhammer?
Yes.
So they're a total of 50 points each.
That's really what you need to say.
With this configuration. So they're 50 points each. A unit of 5 of them is still Terminator level. So they're going to have, so I'm just trying to be a voice of reason here. So having 2 wounds and a 3-up invulnerable with a feel no pain save that you sometimes get is marginally, debatably as good as Terminators with a 2-up, 3-up with that have also a million ways to get an invulnerable save. I mean, a feel no pain save. So this is not much better right now without hearing any special rules. I'm gonna tell you, this is a unit of Terminators right now that has 2 wounds instead of a 2-up save.
Does the strength 10 come into effect versus strength 8?
Most of the time, usually you're just killing dudes and you win it on 2s, but
Gotcha.
it will. I mean, the thing is, they're good, but I assume, like, I'm still gonna say they're a little better than Terminators, but I'm waiting to hear their special rules to see how much better than Terminators they actually are.
So keep in mind, you can give them with a Thunderhammer. They have this rule called Death Frenzy. If a model in this unit is killed, it can move up and attack at the end of its current initiative step. This applies even if the model is already attacked.
Okay, so hold on, I'm building a flow chart right here. Okay, so Wulfen versus, let's go with BA Terminators who are strength 9 and a charge and oftentimes have feel no pain. All right, so I'm gonna say I have a gold star in the Wulfen category because I think they're just 1 gold star better right now. And now you're telling me every time you kill one, they still get to attack,
even if it's already attacked.
So 2 gold stars. Okay, keep going.
So they have this thing called Leaping Bounds. A unit can run and attack. It also re-rolls failed charge rolls.
Okay, so this is an infantry unit though. It goes 6 inches.
Yes.
Right, correct, yes.
So it can go 6 inches, then it can roll a d6 and still assault. Now, it doesn't have fleet?
It does not have fleet.
It does not have fleet, but it rerolls failed charged, yeah.
Okay, that's cool, but I'm going to give them...
So it's like a poor man's fleet.
I'm giving them a half a star for that one because Terminators have a billion ways to get into combat too, and they deep strike. So I'm giving half star right there.
Half star, okay. They can take a Stormwolf as a dedicated transport. Nothing too...
Yes, baller. Every Terminator on Earth can take something.
Yeah, nothing too ground.
So those stars right there.
But there's some unknowns here. So they can take something called a Salvo Grenade Launcher for 2 points a model. We don't know what it does.
2 points a model?
Yep.
So probably worth taking. So Salvo Grenade Launcher. Do they have frag and crack grenades?
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say.
That'll tell us what it is.
Not sure.
So
is it not in their war gear?
Well, you can't really read the...
It's German.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like a...
It's not a big picture, and it's very hard to read.
If they don't have frag and crack grenades, that's what this is.
Yep, that's exactly. To be honest, I'm even willing to bet right now, without even reading the rules at all, that's exactly what it is. It's making you buy frag and crack for 2 points a model,
which I think is fair. That's fair.
So
okay.
So no points there because that's meaningless.
You actually lose a star for that because Terminators and everything else.
They'll go. The thing is, you're already initiative 1, so that's a no star. I would say
they do have something called Curse of the Wulfen, which we're not sure what it does. Berserker also, which we're not sure what it does. They have something called Sharp Senses, which I think is just a translational error, which might be acute senses.
Acute senses, yeah.
So right now, without knowing any of the other 2 rules, like Berserker, I mean,
it could be Rage.
Yeah, I was about to say these could just be translation errors.
Yes,
it could be. It also could be. You know what I'm thinking? It is. I don't think it's Rage. I think it's probably. What's the rule when you're outnumbered? You get extra attacks.
Rampage.
I bet you it's Rampage.
Could be.
But isn't Rampage usually reserved for single model?
No, there's tons. There's units that have it. Like what are those units in the Dark Eldar Codex? The big. No. The you know those big fat guys that run around. Grotesque. Yeah, grotesque have it.
Huh.
So it's either rage. So the thing, let me tell you, either way, if they have rage or they have rampage, either way, that's a star. What was the other rule that we didn't know what it was?
Curse of the Wulfen, which my guess is that Curse of the Wulfen is what's changing their stat line.
Okay,
That's what's giving them strength 5, initiative 5. You know, they have 3 attacks, and I'm guessing that's what Curse of the Wulfen does.
I was about to ask you, what's their profile? What's their weapons? What's their weapon skill?
Weapon skill 4, BS 2, strength 5, toughness 4, 2 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 8.
Okay, so 3 attacks base is another star, because Terminator's only 2. So this is essentially like 4.5 stars over Terminator unit for the same points right now. So this has more offense, more survivability, and potentially more speed once it hits.
Yeah, and one guy gets the 2 frost claws. You know, remember how we used to outfit the Blood Angels guys with like a couple of dudes with hammers, couple of guys with lightning claws? They have one Wulfen, who I'm calling the come at me bro guy, because that's what it looks like on the sculpt, can be upgraded with 2 frost claws for 20 points. So he's hitting an initiative 5.
Me and Juice love those guys.
I absolutely love those guys.
So that's pretty good. So this is definitely a better Terminator unit. And also, you can combine this with Psychic Powers easily. You get some Rune Priest action in there. You can easily give this unit Eternal Warrior with rolling on Biomancy. Give him a 4-up invulnerable. I mean, 4-up Feel No Pain from Endurance. So if you just... Because remember, I was comparing them to Blood Angel Terminators because they're the closest Terminator. They were closest because they would have Feel No Pain and Strength 9. So if you took the same points you invested in that, and like maybe worked on got a Rune Priest in there, some other love. Like if you got Endurance on this unit, where like now Strength 8 didn't ID them, because that's a problem. Strength 4, Toughness 4 units with Feel No Pain are kind of a cop out to me because you're just gonna hit them with things they don't get their Feel No Pain against. So to me, if you can make them Eternal Warrior and they might not get Feel No Pain, but they can't be ID'd, this literally would be an amazing unit that you can do work with.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think
I'm already planning to throw a headquarter Thunderwolf with Cyberwolves as an attachment to this thing.
You know, and I really feel strongly like they're gonna get that extra book. They're gonna get a codex and a campaign.
And you said they're bulky, so they're not Terminators, so they can actually go on Rhinos, another star.
That's true.
Because Terminator armor is what can't go on a Rhino.
Correct.
Not bulky.
Yeah. So Rhinos aren't prohibited by the size. It's prohibited because they say no Terminators.
Yes. So these guys can actually straight up just be in a Rhino.
Yeah, that is mad clutch. So like, I don't know about you guys, but the one thing that I actually remember, I was at Robbie B's old store in Virginia, and I was sitting there and I read the book. I called my boy Lucas up, and I'm going with it, and I'm going back and forth and letting him know everything that I read and this. And I was like, the number one thing I said when I got done reading the book was like, it lost its flair. It lost the stuff that made Space Wolves. It lost the special abilities. Logan got the stupid chariot with no upgrades. He reminds me of the 3rd edition Eldar Avatar. You know, it's like the Wailing Doom, and all it said next to it was power weapon. You know, like, so it just lost all its flair. And now, literally within one unit, guys, the Wulfen, it has almost brought some love back to the space.
Yeah, if I can get a couple of like chapter relics in the new campaign book, like maybe the old wolf tooth necklace, stuff like that, I will be a very happy wolf. Very happy.
These guys. My God, yeah, I do love this unit. So this is a really good unit, and I think Juice really summarized it the best. Like I said, this in itself isn't enough to change the codex, but there's a new option. There's a new thing that is actually good. It's not a new unit that's like, meh, it's cool, it exists. If you were spending 250 points on something anyway, this is now a really good like comparison. Like this is better than the current Terminator situation in the Codex. This is better than any of the Dreadnoughts in the Codex. This is better than 10 Wolfguard and a Rhino. This is definitely really good. Obviously, it's not better than Thunderwolves. Thunderwolves are T5 with a Storm Shield. They don't feel no pain, but they don't get ID'd by missile launchers, and they're not as fast. So this is viable. like if you wanted to run an army that was all thematic and all badass, you can easily put these guys, and you don't have to run 5. I assume you can run 1 to 5, right? Or
you have to run 5
so.
base.
It says 5 Wulfen.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so
then you
that's
can
a-
add guys.
You can run them in 10, yeah.
Ooh.
So you could run 10.
You could have yourself a star coming out of this. Like, I love it. But so, like, for the love of fuck, guys, GW hit it on the head with these rules. How many armies would love to have a unit like this? Like, I'm going to take myself, for example.
You put that in your Imperial Guard army right now.
Oh, my God. Or even, like, let's just translate the Wulfen over that they have. Let's translate that over to the NID aspect. Are you freaking telling me that that warriors, give me an upgraded warrior that has some cool ass special rules, that was this and this? It doesn't need to be the most brokenest shit in the world, but just give me something to go on. I would love it. Don't give me a horror of specs. Don't give me some stupid ass, or like Blood Angels. We're talking about, like, give me a unit that does something super cool that isn't OP empowered. Like, I think if this is the precedent that they're trying to set right now for the next umpteen books, like, we're going to have some magic happening.
I agree, man. I couldn't agree more. I love this.
Yep, it's super exciting. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait to see the English translation of this, and if there's any other units. I guess there won't be week 1, but it'll probably be more about the campaign book itself.
Yeah, and I don't know any info, but I'm expecting them to drop, Crom Dragon Gaze back into things. Because, they've got the model, they've got the mold already. There's no reason that shouldn't be, like, in the book as a clamshell release or something. I'm secretly hoping that since they're bringing back kind of the 13th Company flavor, that we get the Lehman Russ back with the Wolves, just because there's a Lehman Russ kit that comes with that Tech Priest that I really want, but I have no justification to buy it. So
no, you're right. I used to back in the day when I first got into this game, playing 1500 point tournaments every weekend in Miami in 3rd edition. I used to play against this guy named Dom, and he had an amazingly painted Space Wolf army with a Lehman Russ. Always had a Lehman Russ on it because they were allowed to take that with 0-1 Lehman Russ. I just thought it was the most OP shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Back in 3rd edition, it was. You know what I mean? Like, you got this tank with this stupid battle cannon. This is so brutal.
Or even taking the Exterminator variant was pretty good with the.
There's a reason why GW stopped. We're talking about, like, a game system that we talk about all the time, that they don't like tournaments and whatnot. They denied and stopped and pulled Tank Company.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw like a across the board ban.
Yes, Tank Company. Like, wow, oh man, I wish I could have been there in that area. Like, I played against it multiple times and it was cool. I played it with my NIDs and whatnot, but I didn't dive in and buy that. I was too young at the time to be able to, like, just jump ship and buy multiple armies and whatnot, but having Chimeras as troop choices, or Lehman Russ as troop choices and command tanks and everything else. Like, people were coming to tournaments in my area in North Carolina. It was like, anywhere between 11 and 17 tanks and just GGing people.
Dude, I watched this happen. Yeah, on the same subject, same guy. So we had our local come here and steal your tournament support guy.
Yeah.
With his unpainted primer gray Tank Company in 3rd edition.
Yep.
He crushed me in the first round, obliterated me. I was playing my Death Guard, and this is before I even had the wisdom of, like, I was like, I got these guys walk, these guys have a rhino, these guys have a heavy bolter. This is where I was at the hobby, you know what I mean? And oh god, just obliterated, right? And then he matched up in round 2 against this guy who was like kind of one of my mentors at the time, and he was running. Remember the Army of Death back in those days?
Oh yeah.
The Blood Angels Army, all Death Company, where everything was 25 points more expensive.
Yep, and you would get a
they literally
power weapon based on what you rolled.
Death Company.
No, they literally, it was, he was playing 1,500 points. It was 5 rhinos, which is Death Company in it. And on turn 1, they all moved up, overcharged their engines, and popped smoke. So he literally went like 18 inches on turn 1 with all his rhinos, right? And then he shoots his whole Tank Company at him, and he blows up like 1, or immobilizes 2, blows up a rhino. And then they all get out, because they had all the Death Company rules where they can, like, they move faster. They're like, we get out of the Rhino 6, we move this, we do this. He literally charged the entire Tank Company on turn 2 and tabled him. Like, and I was like, yeah, got you, good fucker. Like, I was like, I'm so happy that happened. Like, it was so glorious. I'll never forget it. Army of Death. I know that we've been talking for more than an hour. How long have we been talking?
More than an hour.
Hour and 7 minutes.
I just want to say to our veterans, we have only exactly enough space on Libsyn to do basically 4 episodes a month that are about an hour long. So we can't be getting the habit of doing like hour and 20 minutes every time because we actually run out of space.
Oh man,
That's not good.
No.
So as much as I want to keep talking all night with you guys, we do have to wrap this joint up.
Yeah, the next tier is expensive.
Yes,
we
can't
don't want
afford
that.
it. Like we said, we don't do it for money, but it takes money to do this. 20 cents a day. It's getting rough to afford Libsyn.
Cat's got to eat. Oh my goodness. Well, I think it was a good show, guys. Definitely. I'm reinvigorated with all the Space Wolf stuff. So, a lot more coming down the pike, and that ain't it. Video games, bringing a hobby back. G-Dub, they're waxing their wane. Some weeks we're just like, what the heck, and some weeks we're just like, amazing.
Yeah.
Some weeks,
But still.
some weeks, I have to tell Joe Rogan it's not the first time I tasted penis in my line of work.
Oh my god.
No, but for real, we're
You're silly.
serious.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. All you out there, if you haven't done so already, make sure you head on over to longwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. P.S. It's only 20 cents a day.
What does it mean to be a veteran of the longwar.net? You are the first in the door to all exclusive content, and your clearance will be raised for the earliest access. You can enlist for free. When you're a veteran of the longwar.net, you are the front line to bringing hobby back. Join our Hall of Veterans at thelongwar.net.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.